What's going on, guys, and welcome back to my channel. I know it's been a while and I do apologize for that, but today I wanted to jump on the little bit of a trend in what if scenarios and just regular scenarios. Of course, alternate reality kicks in, but what I'm talking about is across different games. Now, I've seen some for NBA 2K, I've seen some for NHL, I've seen some kick in for FIFA as well, no pun intended there, but you know, I decided to try it out, or I came up with this idea to use legendary teams, some of the best squads, not just the club itself, but the actual year and the club, the team, the squad that was dominant in a certain year, and I decided to try and put it in today's FIFA, see how they would work in basically today's game. And for this episode, this is kind of a pilot. I don't know if I'm gonna make it a series. I don't know how much attention this will get, but today I wanted to try out 2004/2005/2006 Chelsea. That's when the Jose Mourinho, the special one, so to speak, became a part of this team and took over from Claude Ranieri and his squad. But then I wanted to see how it would go if Chelsea and the players from the squad from 2004 through 2006, how they would play out in today's Premier League, and not only Premier League but also in the Champions League. Now I try to recreate the Champions League as closely as possible, and I actually created a tournament. This is you're seeing this is a tournament as well. This is not a career mode because it was hard for me. I did a test before this. I did a test to try out how this would go, and because I was not able to change the age of already existing players, for example like Frank Lampard, because he still plays, I just added his increased his stats to what they were in 2004-2005 season. I was not able to edit his age, therefore he's like 30, however old he is, 36, 37, and same with the players that are in the club that I created. I was not able to counter match, so to speak, the age of the players. So they were basically like retiring, and they were basically jumping from like 90 overall to like 65 in 1 month. So it just was not working. I tried it multiple different times, and I didn't want to create John Terry again because I mean he's obviously on the team still, and I wanted to use, you know, his player face or whatnot. And so I just decided to create a tournament license Premier League season, and you know, fixtures are the same of this year's Premier League. They're actually official, and there you see they start off by playing West Ham, then Watford, then Burnley, so to speak. But without further ado, oh yeah, one more thing to say. Same thing. I did the same thing for the Champions League as well. It's actually a separate save. This is how we're gonna do it. We're gonna simulate it, you know, a month at a time and see how it goes. But then after we finish Premier League, after we finish, you know, simulating the whole Premier League, we're going to look at the stats and everything like that, and then I'm going to go into a completely different save in the Champions League save that I created. I recreated it as close as possible. I did the groups basically exactly identical to what 2004-2005 Champions League groups were, and it ended up pretty nice. And I didn't do many tests on that, but I figured I'll put it at the end of the video, so you know, it's kind of so we can follow closely the campaigns during the Premier League and the campaign of the Champions League, of course. But yeah, without further ado, I've been rambling on for about 5 minutes now. Let's go ahead and actually jump in the video. I did not mean to do this. Let's go ahead and jump into the video. Now the squad. Now I recreated the squad. We're gonna start off by the goalkeeper, Petr Cech. Now they had Carlo Cudici. Oh, also one more thing I wanted to say is these ratings that you see are not just bland. They're not just you know, me trying to basically eyeball the stats and trying to process through my brain how did they play, because I remember watching this team. I remember watching the 2004 season, Premier League season, and I remember Thierry Henry and Arsenal just tearing everything up, but Chelsea still ended up winning the Premier League. But yeah, I remember some of these players, and I didn't just create their stats, I actually went on and looked at the database for the 2004 or 2005 FIFA. I actually looked at their players and looked at their potentials, and I basically try to recreate it simple. So yeah, there we go. We're gonna start off with Petr Cech, 88 overall. I actually didn't change him too much. I changed a little bit of his stats, but he was 86 and as his base stat, and then closer, he actually had a potential of 96. He was 22 in this FIFA 2005. Yeah, he had 96 potential, so I just basically took regular Petr Cech and put him in here because the stats didn't really change. And I believe this is the first year that Petr Cech actually wore his helmet, because I think previous season is when that injury happened, or maybe it was this season that it happened. I don't actually remember. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. Now moving on to the right back, it's actually Paulo Ferreira. I remember watching him. Also, one more thing: do not pay attention to the age, and also do not pay attention to the skill moves, because I tried to recreate, their dribbling stats, but for some reason they just got 5-star skill moves. Like Carlo Cudicino on the bench, I believe he has 4-star skill moves, and he's a goalkeeper. But anyways, Paulo Ferreira, he was a fantastic right back. Now he was that ultimate role player. He was very fast, and he was a fantastic tackler of the ball. And in FIFA 2005, he was actually 84 overall, but in FIFA 2004, he was 82 overall. So I just decided to stick with 82 overall. I mean, his stats are pretty much identical. He has great crossing, great dribbling, great marking, fantastic defending, because I remember him running back and forth. He has great stamina, 81 stamina is fantastic, and he was pretty pacey as well. As you see on his little diagram up top, he was all about pace and not too much physical, but also great at dribbling, at defending, and at passing as well. Just the ultimate role player, really good right back, and he goes right into the right back slot there. Now, moving on to the center backs, this is where it gets interesting. Ricardo Carvalho was, I believe, 25 at that time. Actually, I don't remember how old he was, to be honest with you, but was he 26 or something like that? But he was 88 overall, and he had the potential, listen to this, he had the potential of 98. Ricardo Carvalho had the potential of 98 overall, and yes, he was a fantastic center back, don't get me wrong, but 98 potential? I don't know what they were doing. I don't know what they were smoking in FIFA headquarters, but 98 potential for Ricardo Carvalho is ridiculous. I don't think anyone will ever get to 98 potential as a center back, especially. And of course, he was already actually present in the game, and as you see, he's 38 years old. That's his actual age, and that's the reason why I have problems with the career mode, because first of all, I mean, I created him as an 88, right? And then I would simulate a season, and he would drop to like 72. And obviously, the squad performance would drop drastically. So I had to basically go in the tournament mode. I had to try to figure out something different. And I did go to tournament mode, and it worked. I did a little bit of tests, but we'll see how it goes, right? So he's obviously a fantastic defender. He was a brilliant. I remember watching him play, and him and John Terry, the partnership that they had together was just magnificent, and they were unstoppable. And looking at their stats, actually, of the real life, Chelsea had the most clean sheets in the Premier League that season. They had 25 clean sheets, and that has to do something with William Carvalho. Obviously, just look at his stats. Also, speaking of the stats, I looked in the 2000, like I said, I looked in the 2005 FIFA database, and I recreated basically every stat identical to what their stats were in that game. Strength, obviously, sprint speed. He was pretty fast back then. He didn't have much stamina, but he was very strong. Fantastic center back. You see his heading accuracy at 90. You see his marking. You see his stand tackle at 91. This is his identical stats to what they were, apart from, of course, volleys and whatnot. But yeah, this was basically his card in FIFA 2005. Fantastic center back. Don't get me wrong. But 98 potential, I think, is a little bit too much. Now, moving on to John Terry. He was 23 years old at this time. Of course, came through the academy, signed as a 14-year-old, I believe, or something like that. And one of the youngest players ever to sign to a Premier League club. And he was 89 overall. in FIFA 2005 as his base stat, FIFA 2004 as a base stat, and then FIFA 2005 he jumped to 90, and he had 96 potential. He was 23 years old and was already a captain. And once again, looking at his stats, these are identical to what they were in FIFA 2005. Look at all those high 80s. 95 strength, 83 sprint speed. His pace is fantastic. Look at his interceptions at 90. Look at his acceleration. Look at his jumping. Look at his heading at 90. Look at his marking. He's stand tackle. He was probably one of the world's best center backs at the time. He didn't have much for passing, dribbling, and shooting, of course, but the diagram on the left right there, physical defending, basically maxed out as high as you can get. Man, he was incredible. He was an incredible center back, and you see his straights: power header, complete defender, strength, tactician, one club player. Yeah, I mean, list can go on and on for John Terry. Now moving on to the left back, this was a little bit controversial because in different FIFAs, there were a little bit of different statistics, if you will. Now, also interesting, William Gallas was actually 87 overall, and when I was creating him, I had to create him, of course, to free agents first and then put him into Chelsea. But I couldn't see his overall, but I basically, like I said, I took his stats from FIFA 05 and I recreated them, but in FIFA 05 he was 87 overall and he had the potential of 95. So obviously all these players had incredible potential back then, but he was 87 overall, and I put the exact same stats into this year's FIFA, and he ended up being 82, which is incredible to me. And of course, great stats. I don't want to ramble on too much about individual stats, but I just wanted to show you guys the stats that these guys had in FIFA 2005. Yeah, incredible, absolutely incredible. And as you see, for some reason, he has 4-star skill moves. He is a center back, but he did play left back sometimes. And also, the backup left back, of course, Wayne Bridge. The reason why I didn't want to put him together because John Terry and Wayne Bridge, you get the point there. But Wayne Bridge also has 4-star skill moves for some reason. Wayne Bridge was actually 85 overall. He was actually a little bit lower than William Gallas. But William Gallas actually started at left back. Sometimes Wayne Bridge started at left back. But yeah, these are the stats of Wayne Bridge. Now we're gonna move on to the midfield. Potentially the best midfield in the world at the time. We'll start with Joe Cole, the young guy, 22 years old. Absolutely incredible stats. I mean, you can see his overall is 80. His overall was actually 85 in the game. I don't know why it ended up being 80. Maybe it's because of his mental stats. But I mean, this is literally identical stats to FIFA 05. But for some reason, he ended up being an 8 overall. So don't look at his actual overall. Look at his actual stats in the game. So yeah, absolutely fantastic player. Dribbling, finishing, free kick accuracy, just everything is absolutely incredible. Fantastic player there. Now moving on to the CDM, probably one of my favorite players I've ever watched. And I wasn't a Chelsea fan. I just liked to watch Premier League, and I'm sure many of you guys did as well. Claude Makelele, or probably the today's version would be N'Golo Kante. Just look at his diagram. He's 91 overall, which is actually the actual rating that he was in FIFA 2005, but looking at his diagram there at the top, I mean, everything is pretty much maxed out except for shooting, because he was a CDM. He was a complete box-to-box midfielder. For some reason, he has 5-star skill moves. Don't look at that. Absolute fantastic player. Everything is maxed out. 98 strength, and bear in mind, he was what? He was about 5'8", yeah, 5'7", 5'8". He was a small little dude, but he was super stocky. 98 strength, 91 stamina, just incredible stats. Look at his tackling status as well. 96 slide, 95 stand, 93 short pass, 97 marking. Absolutely ridiculous. Moving on to Frank Lampard, the absolute legend of the club. He actually ended up having the most assists in the season in real life. He had 18 assists, finished the season, and that did give him the nod to having the most assists in the season. Absolutely incredible stats, long passing. Now, let's continue moving on. The newcomer, Arjen Robben, he came. The special one, Jose Mourinho actually bought him this past season in 2004. So he came in and he was an incredible player. 89 overall there. Didn't change too many of his stats. I just increased a lot of it. He stayed pretty much the same. Of course, he digressed a little bit in real life to what he is today from what he was back then, obviously. And moving on to the left mid, Damien Duff, probably one of the best Irish players to ever play the game. Probably apart from Roy Keane, but nonetheless, Damien Duff was absolutely incredible. I remember watching him as well. He was kind of short but stocky. He was a fantastic midfielder, a great winger who loved to push forward. But yeah, looking at his stats, just everything is in the 90s and the high 80s as well. And the striker, one of my favorite players ever in the world, ever. You know, not just this season, but in general. And Didier Drogba was absolute legend. He still is. I hope he gets a legend card eventually when he retires. And oh my goodness, this guy was an absolute monster. He was so strong. He was so clinical. He's probably one of the best strikers ever to play the game in the world. The Ivorian striker was just ridiculous. I mean, look at his stats. I don't think these stats do him justice of how good a player he was. But maybe I'm just being biased. But nonetheless, moving on to the bench, Carlo Cudicini, the goalkeeper that Petr Cech took over, so to speak. Wayne Bridgeworth, he looked at. Glenn Johnson is basically identical stats to what he is now. Not too good of a player, but still a solid right back. Jeremy, I remember this guy. He was a versatile midfielder. He was kind of like Gilberto Silva for Arsenal, because I did watch a lot of Arsenal back in the day. He was a box-to-box midfielder. He could play right mid, he could play CDM, he could play right back. He could play pretty much anywhere, and he had fantastic stats. The Cameroonian midfielder there. And Adrian Gudjohnsen. Now, don't mind the picture, because I created him. I tried to recreate his face as close as possible, and I don't know if I created the face of this dude right here. I don't know who that is, but that's not Adrian Gudjohnsen. But yeah, he was an 85 overall back then. He was actually an 87, had a potential of 96. Ridiculous player, but he was such a clinical finisher. He was the ultimate super sub. He may not start every game, and he may not play every game, but he was the ultimate super sub. He was a fantastic player. He brought Iceland to the scene of football. He brought Iceland to where they are now. He basically was the first incredible, at least in my lifespan, so to speak. He was an incredible striker. But yeah, I mean, looking at his stats, like I said, once again, these stats are basically identical to what they were in FIFA 2007 or 2005. I apologize, but yeah. Moving on, Scott Parker was there. Robert Huth was there. They were all, I don't know if they all came from the academy, but I know Glenn Johnson was 20 years old. Robert Huth was 20 years old. I think Thiago, as you see, he was pretty young. I believe he was 22 or 23 maybe. If he's 35 now, I don't want to do the math. I'm bad at math. But anyways, moving on to Matej Kejman. Remember him? He had the crazy looking hairstyle. But yeah, man, he was a good player. He was also a very good striker, very good super sub, very clinical, very prolific. He didn't play that much, but when he did, he definitely played really well. And they also had Mikael Forsell, who I believe in 2005 actually moved to Birmingham City. But I remember watching this guy actually at Birmingham. I don't remember much of him playing for Chelsea, but I remember this Finnish striker. And he actually, guess what, guys? He actually still plays. He actually still plays. I was playing in career mode the other day, and I was managing Italy, the national team, and they came up against the international friendly against Finland. And then I saw the guy Forsell. He had a shot on goal or something like that, and I was like, is that Mikael Forsell? But yeah, it ended up being Mikael Forsell. He still plays for actually Helsinki, the club that's on FIFA these days. But anyways, he was a goal poacher. He was always there at the right time, at the right place. And then this guy, Adrian Mutu. Don't mind the picture once again, because I don't know if I created the guy who actually had this, whoever this guy in game is, I don't know, but this was actually the last season, I believe, that he played for the club, obviously because of his drug allegations or something like that. He was actually removed from FIFA. He was removed from any game, and his name wasn't available to use. It was basically banned. And for a lot of times we saw Adrian Murgu. I don't know if you guys remember, but Adrian Murgu was supposed to be Adrian Mutu. But yeah, this guy was incredible. This guy had so much potential and so much ability, but of course it was all ruined by his drug abuse or whatnot. I don't actually remember all that controversy, but yeah. So we basically got through all of the players. Now what, I've been talking for about 20 minutes now. Yeah, this video is probably going to be pretty long. But anyways, let's go ahead and actually simulate. Let's see what happens. We're going to go a month at a time. And yeah, we're going to see how it goes. Let's go. Alright, so we're at the end of August. And looking at the team, okay. So first match of the season, we actually won against West Ham 3-1. There we go. It's a shame you can't see the goal scorers, but we'll look at stats at the end. We beat Watford 3-2, and we beat Burnley 4-1. So far, 3 games and 3 victories. Let's continue. All right, so we got through September. Let's take a look at the results. We beat Swansea 2-1. Let's see Liverpool. We beat Liverpool 2-1. What about Chelsea? We beat Arsenal 1-0. So far, 6 games, 6 victories. Let's continue. Alright, we're at the end of October. Let's take a look at the results. Hull City, we win 2-1. Ex-Premier League champions, Leicester, we beat 2-0. Are we actually going to lose the game? Okay, we lose to Manchester United 2-1. Lose. First loss of the season comes after what? 8 games. So we're 8-1 so far. And then we draw with Southampton. So we're 8-1-1. Pretty decent result. I'll see you guys at the end of November. Alright, we're at the end of November. Let's take a look at the results. We beat Everton 2-1. We lose to Middlesbrough. What? We lose to Middlesbrough 2-1. That's only our second loss of the season. Let's see the Spurs. We beat Spurs 3-1. Alright. Oh, December has a lot of games. I'll see you guys then. Alright, we're at the end of December. This will be a crucial month because we play a lot of games. What is that? 6 games? Alright, let's get started. We beat Manchester City. They're obviously title hopeful in today's league. 2-1. 4-1. I don't think we actually have had a clean sheet yet. I don't think. I keep seeing 4-1, 2-1. We keep conceding at least 1 goal. Alright, Sunderland. We draw 1-1. Alright. We draw with Crystal Palace. 2 draws in a row. We beat Bournemouth 4-0. There's our, I believe, first clean sheet. Correct me if I'm wrong. And then Stoke City 1-0. So 2 clean sheets in a row followed after 2 draws and also 2 victories. Big month of December. Let's move on. I'll see you know what? I'm actually going to simulate 2 months at a time, so it would go kind of faster because January only has 3 games, and then February also has only 4 games. So I'll see you guys at the end of February, and we'll see what happened. Alright, so we're at the end of February. Let's see our results. We lose to Spurs 2-0. No way. We lose to Spurs. We fail to score even 1 goal. I mean, all of our strikers, Drogba, Mutu, Kejman, Gudjonsson. Well, how can they not score? I don't understand. All right, 2-0, we lose to Spurs. How about Leicester? We come back and beat Leicester 2-0, and then we beat Hull City 5-0. Hull City's probably going to get relegated, as well as they probably will in real life. Oh, we lose to Liverpool 2-1. So 2 losses to big teams as well. We beat Arsenal 3-2, our rivals. We draw with Burnley. I know Vizeh will be pretty happy. Shout out to him. I'll leave a link to his channel in the description. Huge Burnley fan. He has about 35,000 subscribers. Go ahead and check him out, guys. He's a fantastic YouTuber. But yeah, Burnley 2-2. So I bet he would be super happy. So they're obviously just promoted, and if they could draw with 2004-2005 Chelsea in today's Premier League, oh my God, Dean Marney probably went off. But anyways, let's continue as my batteries on my controller are low. We beat Swansea 4-0. Now, I don't want to look at the standings just yet. The season is coming to an end. We have, what, 2 more? We have 3 more? Yes, we have 3 months. All right, so I want to go about halfway. I want to simulate 6 games. We're going to go through mid-April, and then I'm going to simulate the remainder of the 6 games, and I'll see you guys then. All right, so we're in mid-April. And I just noticed how fast the simulation is when you're in the tournament instead of in career mode, because the game, for some reason, obviously, I mean, it has less players in the game, or less players loaded in, and so to speak, you don't have to worry about all the transfers or all the news that are outgoing and stuff like that. I believe there's no injuries as well, but we'll have to check and see. But yeah, the simulation is so fast, so I'm basically sitting here for 10 seconds and I'm already at mid-April. When I'm simulating in career mode, it takes like 10 minutes to simulate 1 month. But anyways, so let's take a look at our results. We beat West Ham 1-0. We beat Watford 3-1, and we beat Stoke 3-0. So March is unbeaten. Let's take a look at Crystal Palace. We beat 2-0. Let's go. What about Manchester City? 2-0 as well. So 2 games against Man City, both victories. Bournemouth, we lose to Bournemouth. What is going on? We lose 2-1 to Bournemouth. All right, so the last 6 games of the season, I'm really excited, guys. I really hope we're actually able to win this the Premier League. But I guess we'll have to wait and see. The big game coming up against United, big game against Southampton, Everton, and I believe we have Arsenal. We may not. Oh, never mind. We have Middlesbrough, West Brom, and Sunderland. Middlesbrough we actually lost to. Sunderland we drew, and I don't remember the game against West Brom. You saw how fast the simulation just went. But anyways, let's take a look at the results. The final results of the season. We beat Manchester United. Let's go. Let's take a look at Southampton. We beat Southampton 3-0. We beat Everton 2-0 as well. Let's take a look at the last results. We beat Borough 4-0. We lose to West Brom 2-1. That could be crucial. And then we beat Sunderland. Now, if I can remember, we lost to West Brom. That's one loss. We lost to Middlesbrough. We lost to... Who do we lose? Who else did we lose to? I don't remember. I believe that's the three losses I know. And then we drew with Burnley. Oh gosh, I don't remember. But anyways, let's take a look at the table. We won the league. All right, we won the league by 7 points. That is massive. And look at the. Oh my goodness. All right, so we're gonna take a look. All right, so we drew with Burnley, but they're actually gonna get relegated. Hull City is also getting relegated, and same goes for Sunderland. Everton, who are actually doing really well in the league this season. Everton and West Ham are both on 42 points. They just were able to stay up. So this is basically what happens when you don't have the transfer market. You don't have all this Premier League money, TV money that you can spend, obviously. So Everton and West Ham are actually struggling quite a bit. They were 2 points away from relegation. Wow, that is absolutely crazy. Moving on, look at Arsenal. They're in 13th place. Oh my goodness. Arsenal is 1 point above the relegation zone. The injuries must be on, right? Injuries must be on. There's no way the injuries are off and Arsenal is in 13th place. Wenger out. He's gotta go at this point. Obviously the real managers are in the game, but Wenger's gotta go, man. Arsene Wenger, he's gotta go. Man, 13th place for Arsenal. He'd be sacked like halfway through the season. Halfway through, probably in January. Before January, Wenger would be sacked. Leicester finishes 12th. Bournemouth. Oh my goodness, Crystal Palace is in 4th place. What is this? West Brom is in 7th. They're actually doing pretty well in real life. Liverpool's in 8th. My goodness, man. The newcomers Middlesbrough are in 10th place. We obviously lost to them. Crystal Palace is in 4th place. Manchester United finishes 2nd. We only had 6 losses on the year. I don't even remember who all we lost to. Manchester United actually had less losses. Our goal difference is 52. We had 83 goals. And yeah, we conceded 1 goal less than the second best team, obviously, in Manchester United. Yeah, but we had 83 goals. That is crucial. We had 4 draws and 6 losses. Look at the second place team. Manchester United had 81 points, and the Spurs had 67. So Spurs had no chance at title contending. It was basically between us and Manchester United. Basically, let's take a look at the top scorers. Damien Duff with 24 goals. Oh my goodness. Frank Lampard with 12. Frank Lampard actually in that real season in 2005, he actually won the Premier League Player of the Year. So that would be obviously like N'Golo Kante winning it. So yeah, so obviously Lampard won it that year. Damien Duff with 24 goals. Now comparing it to real life, in that season, Thierry Henry had 25 goals. So Damien Duff was only 1 goal away from basically tying the actual record for that year, the actual top scorer in Thierry Henry. Now looking at other players for us, Lampard was there. Mutu had 11. I don't see Drogba. He must have been injured or something. But yeah, I don't see anyone else. All right, assists. Damien Duff had 17 assists as well. Wow, what a season for Damien. Arjen Robben had 7. I don't see anybody else. Clean sheets. Kudicini actually played. I don't know. Wait, what happened? I thought I definitely had Petr Cech in goal. He must have gotten injured. But Carlo Kudicini, 16 clean sheets. My goodness, that is a lot. I believe Chelsea had 25 clean sheets in real life that season. Yeah, I don't even see Petr Cech. He must have not played. Yellow cards, Ben Mee, Scott Parker had 8 yellow cards, red cards. Scott Parker had 1 red card as well, and that's the top scorers as well. We're going to take a look at our squad once again. Yeah, just best 11 of the week. I don't think that really matters. But anyways, yeah, Damien Duff clearly wins Player of the Year. So yeah, this is the team. Oh yeah, so there were injuries, right? John Terry was injured. Petr Cech for some reason did play, but he actually didn't play much in the simulation for some reason. But Paulo Ferreira was there. Yeah, Damien Duff, 88 overall, but my goodness, he was fantastic. He won Player of the Year, obviously. Anybody else who got injured? I think Arsenal must have had a lot of injuries, so that's probably the only reason how they were able to finish so low, so close to the bottom. But anyways, we did end up winning the league, just like they did in real life. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at the Champions League. Alright, so we're back in Champions League, and I wanted to show you guys the tables and the group stages basically that I try to recreate as close as possible to how they were in real life at that season. Of course, the teams are maybe the same exact team, but of course the squad is not 2005 squad, but it's obviously this year's squad. So you might see some teams that were good back then that are not good right now. But yeah, for example, Deportivo La Coruña, they were one of the best teams in Spain, and obviously they made it to the Champions League. So in Group A, this was how the group looked in real life in 2005. Liverpool, Monaco, Olympiacos, and Deportivo. Group B had actually don't mind Lokomotiv. It's actually supposed to be Dynamo Kiev, but obviously they're not in the game. Dynamo Kiev, Real Madrid, Bayern Leverkusen, and Roma. So this looked to be like a group of death. If it was today, this would be the group of death. Now, or maybe it would be this one: Juventus, Bayern Munich, Ajax, and I believe that is supposed to be Sparta Prague, the Czech Republic team. I don't actually remember, but obviously they weren't in the game, and Basel was, so I just decided to put Basel in there. Group D: Lyon, Manchester United, Fenerbahce, and Helsinki. I know that's the Finnish club, but they were obviously substituting some other team. Oh, they were substituting the Maccabi Tel Aviv, the Israeli club. So yeah, Manchester United, Lyon, Fenerbahce, and Maccabi. Group E is Arsenal, PSV, Panathinaikos, and Rosenborg. Considering how they did in the league, I was gonna say this seems like a pretty easy group for Arsenal to get out of, especially in today's day and age with their team and with how not good the other teams are. But considering that they finished 13th, my goodness, maybe they do have some problems. Group F: Milan, Barcelona, Shakhtar Donetsk, and Celtic. Now that group back in the day, this would be definitely the group of death. You have Milan, who have some of the greatest players back then. They were so good that I believe they won that league that year. Correct me if I'm wrong. Of course, Barcelona, Shakhtar, and Celtic. Moving on to Group G: Inter, Werder Bremen, Valencia, and Legia. I believe they're substituting somebody else, but I don't remember, to be honest with you. But yeah, Inter, Bremen, Valencia, and Legia. And then Group H, which is the group that we're in: Chelsea, CSKA Moscow, PSG, and Porto. This is actually, in today's game, this is actually a pretty tough group. But back then, I don't think PSG had all the money that they have now, so they didn't have all these great players. And CSKA wasn't the best team back then, and neither was, I think Porto was obviously the best, but yeah, somehow they ended up being in our group. Anyways, let's go ahead and simulate. Can I actually simulate calendar? Yeah, okay. So we're gonna simulate past the group stage, which is gonna be just ending right here. And yeah, we'll see how it goes. We'll see if we get out. We'll look at all the other results, and I'll see you guys then. Alright, so we finished with the group stage, and I actually simulated a little bit too far. I simulated already in the round of 32. We obviously ended up making it out of the group stage. But anyways, let's take a look at the results of the group stage. We beat Porto 1-0. We beat PSG 3-2. We lose to CSKA. Wow, here's me saying CSKA was a bad team back then, and they are now. But we lose to them 1-0. We beat, that must have been in Russia, right? That must have been in Russia. It's such a tough place to play at. PSG, we beat PSG again. We beat Porto, and then we beat CSKA. So there we go. That was our group stage, and then we obviously ended up beating Olympiacos, who ended up getting out of the group. So let's take a look at all the other group stages. We're already in the quarterfinals, but yeah, I want to take a look at the group stages and how they went. Don't mind that. I don't want to look at that yet. All right, Group A. So Monaco and Olympiacos ended up getting out of the group. Poor Liverpool. They had less points than Deportivo. My goodness. And that is today's lineup. Wow. Roma. Wow, Real Madrid didn't make it. Are you kidding me? I was expecting to have Real Madrid and Leverkusen up top, but it's actually Roma and Lokomotiv who's supposed to. It's actually supposed to be Dynamo Kiev, but whatever. Real Madrid didn't have a single victory. Are you kidding me? All right, moving on. Juventus, Bayern, pretty self-explanatory there. Obviously, the two of the greatest teams in that group. Obviously, Manchester United and Fenerbahce got out of the group. Kind of obvious. Arsenal and PSV also pretty obvious. Barcelona, Celtic. Wow, Milan. Well, yeah, that's today's Milan. Remember, it's not back then's Milan. It's today's Milan. So they're not the greatest team. They had 2 points so far. That is the lowest points that I've seen in the group stage. And Group G, Inter and Valencia. And Group H, obviously Chelsea and PSG. So yeah, that's that. Let's take a look at the quarterfinal. We ended up playing. Who did we play? We played Olympiacos. We beat them 2-0. Inter beat PSV. Celtic beat Roma. Barcelona beat Fenerbahce. Juventus beat Lokomotiv. PSG beat Arsenal. Manchester United beat Bayern, and Valencia beat Monaco. So pretty interesting quarterfinal so far. No interesting, no upsets so far. At least to what I'm trying to find. Obviously, PSG beat Arsenal, but that's today's PSG, not back then. So yeah, and in real life, Chelsea ended up losing in the semifinals to Liverpool. But as we know, Liverpool didn't even make it out of the group in this fixture. So we're gonna go ahead and simulate past this Inter game. Let's see what happens. Did we win? Did we lose? We do win. All right, we do win. We're going to play in the semifinals against Barcelona. Let's see how that goes. So we ended up making it to the finals. Let's see if we end up winning. And do we win? Do we win? Do we win the tournament? We did win the tournament. So as it looks, we won. Oh, wow. The game against Inter went to penalties. And we won 4-3. Barcelona beat Celtic. Then we beat Barcelona on penalties again, and in the other side we see PSG beating Juventus, Valencia beating United, and then Valencia losing to PSG, and then PSG, who were in our group, who we've beaten twice in the group stage already, we beat them 3-0 in the finals. Wow. So in real life, obviously they lost to Liverpool in the semifinals, and that was their end to the Champions League draw, so to speak. And Liverpool obviously didn't make it out of the group. So in this universe, we won the league. I don't know about FA Cup because I didn't do FA Cup. And we won the Champions League. So that's 2 out of the 3 major trophies. Maybe we did end up winning. That's up to you to decide. I don't know if we won FA Cup or whatever cup you may. That's up to your imagination. But let's take a look at the top scorers. Suarez with 8 goals. Damien Duff again leading our team in goals with 5 goals, and then Lampard had 3. What about assists? Welbeck with 5. Lampard had 3. All right, clean sheets. Clichy again in goal. I don't know why he's in goal, but never mind. He had 5 clean sheets. Yellow cards. John Terry with 3. Let's see. Nobody with red cards. But anyways, who was the player of the tournament? Let's see. Player of the competition announced, and that is Danny Welbeck. Are you kidding me? Wow. All right. So Danny Welbeck ends up winning the player of the tournament, player of the Champions League. That would never happen in real life. No hate. Don't hate me, Arsenal fans or Manchester United fans. Whoever Welbeck plays for these days, I don't even remember. But anyways, this will conclude the video. I hope you guys enjoyed. This was kind of a pilot episode. I know I haven't recorded in a while. And you know, I obviously don't even have an excuse. I've been doing a lot of homework. I've you know, kind of stuck in school, and then obviously working. But yeah, I just haven't had the time. And I obviously I've been playing. Like I haven't played FIFA in the beginning because I didn't like how the gameplay was working, and I just didn't like FIFA for some reason. But then I started playing 2K, and then I got bored of 2K. And now I'm back to playing FIFA. I'm playing a GM, my GM, so to speak, or my manager simulations. I'm actually really enjoying it. It's super fun, and I'm not playing any games. I'm just simulating. and I'm trying to create the best team possible. I'm trying to make it as realistic as possible. I created, you know, I started off with a random team in France in League 2, and I was trying to complete all the objectives, and then I ended up, you know, in the first season in the Ligue 1, I ended up finishing in the Europa League spot, and then I got an offer from Milan, and now I'm managing Milan, and I have a fantastic squad, yeah, I mean, it's just super fun for me, and I'm in like 2022. If you guys want to see something like that, or if you guys want to see some more of these videos, some more of the legendary squads, where we take a look and we put them in today's world with Champions League, Europa League, or Premier League, whatever it may be, we may take a look at 70 squads. You know, I'll try to recreate them as good as possible, as good as my knowledge allows me. But yeah, or let me know if you guys want to see the manager mode simulation, where we go realistic, simulating through seasons, and, you know, quick simulation, trying to find the, you know, hidden gems or whatnot. But anyways, this video has been going on for a long time now. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you're still here, if you're still watching this video 40 minutes in or so, or something like that, then let me know in the comments, guys. Let me know if you enjoyed. Smash that thumbs up if you did enjoy the video. I certainly enjoyed it. It was super fun making it. I didn't expect to have this much fun recreating a team, to be honest with you. But yeah, FIFA's a great game. It's kind of dying out, so people are looking for interesting content to see. And yeah. Anyways, I'll quit rambling now. If you guys enjoyed, smash that like button, and let me know if what else you guys want to see, and if you did enjoy this. All right. See you guys later. As always, love to you mothers. Goodbye.